Treeline Stables, and this is George. We're about to go into part 3 of grooming our horse. We've already done the rubber mitt to bring up all the dirt. Then we've used the hard brush and the soft brush to finish and polish, making his hair look beautiful. And now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about picking feet and doing the mane and tail. When you want to brush a horse's mane, this is his forelock. That I don't ever worry about for our hunters. And the same thing with the mane, just brush it directly. But we really like the tails to be nice and thick. So typically, what we tell our students is not to brush the tails unless you go to a horse show or unless they have a bath or you're conditioning it. But there's a great product that I found called MTG. It's, if you want to come around back, no, George. This helps keep the hair follicles moist so they don't break. And what I do with this is I put it on the dock. This area right here is called the dock, the hard part, the extension of the spine on the horse. And I take this. Now always make sure if you stand behind a horse that you know they're not going to kick you. This horse is very well trained and he won't kick me, but I'm always still very, very cautious. What we're going to do is I'm just going to take this and brush it in. Now if I was at a horse show or getting ready for a horse show, or if he were to have a bath, I would give him a bath. I use ivory soap on the horses. I was told about that from a Grand Prix groom, and they say that in a bucket of water is one of the best things for the horse's coat because it has no byproducts or toxins that can cause pore closing and things like that. Kind of, as you can see, as he's backing up, I'm paying attention to him so he doesn't squish me here into the wall. When you do brush the horse's tail, what you want to do is section it out like this. And what I always do is I start at the very bottom and I gently brush the whole tail like this. And I don't ever want to break the hair follicle because I want this tail to stay thick and nice. So I'm just going to continue to brush. And what I will do is I'll do the whole tail like this. But it works really well. There's a great product out called Cowboy Magic, and it's a detangler and shine, and that works really well. I like that better than Shoshin. And you want to be really careful if you use a detangle and shine that you only use it on the mane and tail. Reason being is the Cowboy Magic is okay, but the Shoshin can clog the horse's pores, and especially for summertime, you don't ever want to use Shoshin because that's just bad for sweating, especially if you're in a hot climate. And the horse doesn't always need to sweat. But this MTG does a good job of making the tail, the hair follicles soft enough to where you can tell difference when you're brushing a dry tail versus a moist tail or a conditioned tail. It does a great job conditioning. And it also helps with hair growth. Another thing that you can do with the MTG, and again, be very careful that you know your horse, is sometimes I put a little bit on here, and I will lift up the tail and just clean the area here, because sometimes they get pretty dirty from sweating and using the bathroom. So, okay, the next thing we have, so I'm going to show you how to pick his feet and condition the hooves. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run my hand down and I'm going to pick up the foot like this. Now you can't see the frog on this horse. This horse has leather pads, and the reason he has leather pads is when we took him to a horse show, there was very hard ground, so we put this on here to help protect the horse's hoof. But other than just being at the horse show, that's all he needed it for. Okay, now I'm going to go to back this one, and same thing. This horse is really good about picking up his feet. If a horse won't pick up his feet, what you want to do is you want to pinch right here. But you'll see on his foot, this back foot, this is called the frog. That's a very delicate part of the hoof. And this area right here where I'm digging, this is pretty firm, but you never want to dig into this. You can go next to it, but never dig on top here. You don't want to damage them. Same thing with this. As you can see, this horse knows the drill on this. And again, the back foot. Good boy. And I'm picking out all the dirt. And you can pretty much see when you get to this area right here, the sole of the foot, how it's different from the other part. Now, the other thing I like to use is I like Farrier's formula or Farrier's fix. This, in our region in the south, the horses have a tendency to pick up certain bacterias and things, and this is an antibacterial, and it will help protect the foot against all kinds of bacteria that you wouldn't want. And it also conditions well. You want to go right up to the coronet band and go front and back. Also, when you have a good farrier, you want to make sure you get a good farrier for your horse. A lot of horses go barefoot. That means no shoes. And if your horse goes barefoot, that's fine as long as the horse's feet don't start cracking. But a lot of our show horses go with shoes to help them grip the ground and have a little bit more traction for jumping. And you'll see he squared off the toe on both of these feet. Now this, I don't know if you notice here, George has a slight club foot here. So what the farrier does for him is he puts him in a rocker shoe. So you can see the foot kind of comes up like this, and that's just to help that club foot. There's nothing wrong. Actually, this foot is stronger on the x-rays than this foot here, but this is just to help keep the horse tracking well. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get the horse ready for tacking up.